welcome to episode 67 of the Fools on a Hill podcast, where we bring you the latest news and our expert's opinion on the newest releases in the world of music. I am Cal, and after all this time, I am reunited with my lovely boys, Yanni and Liam. How are we?
We're great.
Callum, it's lovely to be back home with you.
Thank you. Not in my house, I trust, otherwise...
No, I am.
This whole
Behind you.
Skype thing would be strange.
This is a green screen. I'm actually in the bathroom.
Oh, it's a bit muggy in there. So, Liam, before we get started, and this, for everyone listening, all four of you, this is a different episode where we will talk about what you two have been up to in the past week and why there's been no episode. You mentioned that you don't suit hats.
Yeah,
that is
This
changed.
is the second hat that I've seen within a matter of weeks. Have you changed your mind?
do you want to see a third?
Wow. Because to be honest with you, mate, I don't know why I ever thought you don't suit them, because I think you do.
Well, I never thought I suited them, and then out of necessity, wore them non-stop in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And now I bought
really
this
did.
one in Barcelona, and I think this one suits me the best. And I'm now a hat guy. There you go.
What does that one
Cal?
say?
It's a Primavera special. That.
Primavera Special, this one. This one says, I'm showing it to the people at home first, and then I'll show it to you guys. What's it say? Health and recreation. And then
Brilliant.
health and recreation. Twice over.
We definitely did a lot of the health aspect of that on the holiday.
Yes, absolutely. Enough of the recreation.
Before we get started, what are we all drinking today?
Save
Kind of
the
like
best till last, so I'll go last.
Has he cracked it?
Have you cracked it
I
yet?
haven't cracked it
Liam?
yet. No,
Go on, be the
I'll
honest.
wait to crack if anyone else is cracking.
Well, I'm
not
going to crack.
cracking.
I haven't cracked.
Oh,
Should we
Go
do
on,
a
Yanni, tell us what
ceremonial?
you've got.
Go on.
okay, I'll go first.
You're not
So
cracking, are you?
I've got this, or a Hawkstone Lager, which is from Diddley Squat Farm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, parents
Who's
went
been
there.
Who's been to the... Sorry, go
A
on.
couple of weeks ago, parents went, and I said, they told me the day before they were going that they were going to go, and I went, well, if you're there, get us a beer. And I got 4 beers, so, first one, do you want me to...
Go on. Take test.
Go on.
Go on, have a go. Is it lager, did you say?
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. That's alright, that.
Glowing review.
It's not
Go and
it's
review.
not the best, but it's definitely not the worst.
Wow. Well, talking of definitely not the best, I have the new Guinness coffee brew. There you go. I've shown you, but yeah, the coffee brew. I've had 2 cans of it. Pretty shit, I won't lie. But this has now been chilling for about a week on its side, as per request by Mr. Curly in the corner.
Proper
So-
instructions.
I'm going to give a little taste review. Should have pre-planned this because it's going to have to settle a little bit. So should we do that ceremonial crack, Liam?
Yeah, sure. Make
Buzzing
sure you
for
get it
this,
on
boys.
camera. Ready? 3.
Ah, got it.
This one. Lovely. Have you got a proper glass?
Of course, mate. Wales branded as
Yeah.
well.
Oh,
Nice.
spot on. I didn't grab my Wales one, unfortunately.
Well, that's foolish from you,
No.
isn't it?
Are you pouring it properly?
I know.
Who?
I worked at a bar, mate. I say that, and it's probably going to have the biggest head you've ever seen. Even bigger than mine.
Yeah,
I
but
don't,
you just spin
when he
upside
says
down,
you
you know?
pouring it properly, I don't think he's... Yeah.
Yeah, you don't do a 45 degree and all that. Don't bother with
Well, you
it.
do when
Don't
it's on
sense.
pump. You do. At the start, you do. And then
You
go
do
into
you
the
do on
front.
pump, of course you do, yeah, but with these cans,
Well,
courtesy of the bubble inside.
Straight upside downage with those.
Straight
innit?
upside down.
to answer your question then, Liam, no, I didn't pour it correctly.
That's why it tastes like shit, mate.
Maybe that could be why it tastes like shit.
It's all in the pour.
I really doubt it. It just
The cans
does
don't-
taste
you-
like bum.
Okay.
Coffee bum. So I'm just going to have a little sip off camera because there is a massive head.
There's a massive head on camera as well, mate.
That's what it should look like, anyone else.
Oi, the jokes are back. The jokes are back.
Yep, still shit. Really, really
Oh,
shit.
that's shit. What a shame.
I don't even know what it tastes like because it's not coffee. And I like espresso martini,
Coffee?
so it's not even like it's that I don't like coffee drinks. This just tastes bad. Don't buy
Well,
it.
you heard it here first. Don't get the
Liam,
cold brew.
stop looking
Guinness.
for it. You can have the one can that's left in my fridge because I probably won't ever drink it.
Excuse me.
Ah, lovely. Thank you, Callum. I'm so looking forward to trying it because you've really sold it to me.
Good. Liam,
Good.
what are you drinking? Like we don't know.
I'm drinking Guinness.
Do you want to
Well,
give us
mate,
a
that's quite
taste
cool.
review?
Oh,
Yeah, I can do.
the black stuff.
Yeah, it tastes like Guinness.
Yes.
Is it
Come on.
alcoholic kind or?
Of course, yeah, I wouldn't touch that non-alcoholic shit again. That tasted bad.
Unless he's working.
Yeah, unless it's
Unless we
during
record,
a
like,
work
half
day,
time
of
or-
course. Yeah. If I'm in the office, I'll stick a few in my bag, of course.
So
it is so weird, but that you can just do that, innit? It feels so wrong.
I mean, it's got alcohol in technically, but so I don't know what our work rule is around drinking alcoholic drinks in work. But I'll try it one day.
Please do.
Last
Vlog
day
it.
of work.
Vlog it.
Yeah.
So, Cal, indeed,
So indeed, we've
We've
been
already
away
teased it a
for a
little
long
bit.
time.
we have been away, and what we've been doing, well, find out in this segment we like to call Fools on Tour. Fools on tour.
Oh, Liam
Fools
doesn't want to be
on
here.
tour. Yeah, insert the jingle.
Fools on tour, fools on tour, fools on tour.
So, what did you say about me
The
then?
jingle is just us three doing that,
Liam
isn't
doesn't
it?
want to be here. You didn't join in.
Well, that was-
The jingle
It-
is basically all you, though. To be fair, so you've.
Yeah, his
Well,
mind's
there we go.
His mind's away. Liam, where have we been?
You tell me, mate. I don't have
No,
a
because
fucking
I've
clue.
asked you. Come on.
Sorry. We have been in Barcelona, Catalonia, and we have been to the Primavera Festival. Primavera,
Brilliant.
if you will. Weekend one of the Fezzy. And we've been there, listening to music and drinking expensive Estrella,
Phew, yeah.
and letting our feet get ripped off.
Yep. I think
What
we've,
was
It's not
what was the
right.
pint price like? I'm going for €9.
well, to
It
be even
was not bad,
more
actually.
of a shock, it wasn't even a pint. So
Yeah, that's one thing. It was 330ml. So
should
you
we,
know,
have you got one
can
of
size.
these things handy?
No,
go get
they're
one
in
quickly.
dishwasher.
You
Go and
tell
grab
him
one.
the story.
I'll explain. So they are. Give us 2 seconds.
Yeah, sound.
Where's he up to?
He hadn't started. Lydia came in.
Oh, he didn't start the story.
No.
I'm gonna carry on then.
All right. Sound.
So it came in 35 centiliter, whatever the equivalent of that is in the UK. Cups, plastic cups. The
Right.
purpose of which was to recycle. There was many a meaning to the cups besides that, which we did not understand until I think the last day, where we established what the purpose of them was. I'll wait till he gets back because I'm sure he'll want to fucking jump in. But there was different ones from all the years of the festival that you could collect.
That's pretty cool.
So I think we ended up both the same ones at the end of the festival. Because again, which we'll go into more detail, we didn't realise you could collect them for other reasons until the last day. So I ended up on Liam with a 2003 one, which I'm showing on camera here, and then just for you, Cal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lovely.
a little Estrella. That's
Love
how you
it.
say it properly. And it has the lineup on. All of them have the lineups for the years.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. 2003. Bit shit. Bit of a shit year, really. Wouldn't have gone in 2003 if I'm honest with you. What am I seeing in 2003? Oh no, sorry, no, I'm lying. The White Stripes, The Kills, Sonic Youth, LCD sound system. I think I was thinking of the 2002 one, which I picked up on the first day. That was shit. And then 2007, which has a nice little Ricky
Oh, nice.
on it. Some of the notable bands from here would be... Oh, we covered the First Aid Kit. That was like on one of the practice ones, was it? Sonic Youth. Again. Queen? Get the fuck. The Smashing Pumpkins. The Queen was playing Platty Tubes and all that. Smashing Pumpkins. And Modest Mouse. All those ones. Diplo, we love Diplo, don't we? Anyway, so those are the cups. Liam, I've not told them the story about the cups and our lack of
Okay.
knowledge, as well as the bar staff's lack of knowledge as to what the cups were actually for. Do you
Yeah.
want to give them a rundown of what that was all
Oh,
about?
did you mention the price? Sorry, while I was gone.
No.
$5.50?
Well,
$4.50
$5.50 for that.
I believe it was.
$4.50. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
So this is part of the
Right,
story. So
so-
it was $4.50 for a drink.
In
But
that-
when I went to Benny Cassim, they had like, they might have been like 2-pint cups, I think, that were €9. So that's actually quite cheap in comparison.
It is. Actually.
Carry on.
And to make it even more expensive, those cups cost €1 each, which we didn't realise until the second day. So there was like some sort of sign explaining in Spanish, of course. What we eventually worked out was explaining that you keep your cups and take them back, and you can swap them if you want and reuse them. That's the whole idea. That kind of made sense. And the idea is that you're supposed to collect, because obviously, as Yanni's gone through, they're from different years of Primavera. You're supposed to collect all 19 from 2001 to 2020, I guess. And if you do that, you get a ticket for next year, a free ticket.
No.
What? What?
Well, supposedly.
You've missed one there, mate, haven't you?
What have I missed?
The special one that you have to get.
Well,
first.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Again, though, we don't know if this happened this year. This is how
Yeah.
confusing this whole situation was. I read on Reddit that last year they did that, but on the last day they released the 20th one, and they only released 50 of them. And obviously, you had to try and get that one of those 50.
Well, I was
get
going
your
to
free
say,
ticket.
because surely you just go
Um,
to the bar and be like, can I buy all 19 cups for €19?
But the
And
thing
then-
was that none of this was explained in English anyway. The bar staff didn't know what was going on.
No.
If there was a 20th one on the third day, who knows? No
Remains to be
idea
seen.
whatsoever. So we didn't bother doing that situation. On the first day, some guys offered us like 6 cups, and they're like, "Do you want these?" And we were like, "No, why not?
No,
Why do
we don't
want
want to carry around 6 cups. Are you
No.
mad?
We already
No,
had
well, I
6 of
was
our own
gonna
because we were just
ask.
getting them willy nilly.
Yeah, I was going to ask why you didn't collect them all, because that would really annoy my OCD. But
Well-
if you had to pay for them, then fair enough.
Yeah.
Probably
Well, that
would.
was
So-
it. Yeah.
Exactly. So by that time where we understood everything, it was just like we cannot be bothered with any of this.
Mm.
And the first
Um,
day with the bar was a bit of a bad situation. Like no one
the
knew how to
worst.
pour a drink. The
worst.
queues were huge. It was awful. You couldn't there were water spots around that you could go and fill a water bottle up, and they had massive queues. There were 3 of them, and you could buy water for €2, like a small can, from the bar. But obviously you have to buy a cup as well, so that's an extra €1 for each one of those. So it was all just a bad situation. But on the second day, they came out and apologised and basically said we've made this better somehow. And they'd opened 3 separate kind of stalls where you could go and just get a can of water for free. And to be fair, the bars were much better than the second day.
100%.
We didn't really have to wait at all. The only time I can think of was when we went to see King Cruel, Yanni, and you were a little bit of a while, but that was probably just because it was right next to where someone was playing.
Yes. Yeah.
But any other, like the ones that are kind of over by the food area and stuff like that, were much better.
Very good.
It was mainly Australia pints, but there was also on Select, and it was really annoying that it was Select. Ones. There was Australia Dam, I think it's called, or
Damn Lemon.
Oh, Dam.
Oh, so a good old Radler.
Basically a Radley, yeah. Which was, my preferred one out of the 2, but again, because it was so rare, basically, to come across, unless you were at the big bars, which there was a bit of a queue for, you would just get in Australia. But on the second night, I think we decided to get. Oh no, was it the third night? Third night we got like spirits, didn't we? So I got Jack Daniels and Diet Coke, and you got a rum, some rum that we'd never heard of. I don't think.
Yeah,
but,
some Spanish rum. I'm not sure.
but yeah, so drink situation sorted, cup situation sorted. What were we there for? Oh yeah, music. That was right. Yeah, music.
So
So were you there for 3 nights? Were you? Like, festival wise?
yeah.
I know
yeah.
you're in Barcelona longer, but 3 nights of the festival.
3 nights of the festival.
So should we go through it day by day?
Yeah, sure.
Before we do,
That first
Be one
Go
second.
on. Oh, fucking hell.
We could have just left quietly then. I'm sure we would have picked up where he was
Yeah.
off.
EasyJet flight there and back. Just
Sorry, I
before,
should
while
check
I'm
on the
waiting
dog.
for
I didn't
him.
know which it was.
Was it easy?
And Lydia's gone to the shop.
The EasyJet flight there and back, thankfully, was very easy. There was actually spare seats, so apologies to all the people who got stranded or couldn't.
We had
go
loads
on
of room.
flights.
Should have hopped on ours.
We had loads of room, yeah. Anyway, first day of the festival, we did it stupidly because we walked for a decent couple of minutes before the festival. Got there very early, like a couple of hours early, and then
It was like
sort of
half
stood
four.
around
We
in
got there.
yeah, and I
The
think
contact.
when was the first band on?
The we were seeing was like I think 8 o'clock.
8? Yeah. Okay. So we
Wow.
got there extremely early.
Sunstroke.
Yeah, and we did go to the little like food market, which did like all sorts of different styles of food.
And we walked
sat
around the
down there
place
for it.
because it was massive as well. So we kind
And
of
we
got
did like
familiar with all
a
the
lap.
stages and
Yeah,
all
of
that.
everything. And then we eventually got to see Dinosaur Jr. Stood up for them, and they were very good, to be honest. Considering they're a 3-piece, very loud, which I was expecting them to be loud anyway. But it at times didn't feel like a 3-piece. It felt like there was more going on. How the bass player Liam, you know the name of him?
Lou
No?
Barlow.
There we go. How he plays the bass and it makes the right noises, I don't understand because he's literally just whacking it like half
Slams
the
it.
time.
Slap at the
He's
beers.
slapping the bass, man. Yeah, but they were good to be fair. And then after them, we saw a little bit of Sharon Van Etten, I believe.
Yeah, we saw like one song, I think, did we, or two.
Yeah, but one and a half. I think we left halfway through the other one. But I got to hear one that I actually did know, so I was quite happy with that. And then we left halfway through another one. And who did we go to see then? Because I feel like
We headed over towards the main stages. So the two main stages were right next to each other, and a very strange, like they're both facing the same way, side by side. Does that make sense? With like a screen between them and then a screen either side. So we headed over towards there because Tame Impala and Pavement were playing later on.
Not simultaneously, I hope. Otherwise, that would
Not
be
at the same time, no. They organised that quite well. When we got there, Charlie XX was playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
How's
And
that?
to be fair, I said to Liam when we got back to the hotel, I think I actually like Charlie XCX now. It was
Yeah,
a
it was
great
good.
live performance.
Rightly so.
yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played some bangers, 1999 and all them.
Did Troy
Um,
Sivan come out?
No,
He
but,
didn't know, but she
um,
did get Rina Sawayama for. Is it Bet for you?
Beg for you, yeah.
Beg for you. That's it. I think she was on just as we kind of got to that area, which was massive, massive area. We then they finished, and it's very quick kind of turnover between. So she was on the right hand stage.
They're literally right
then
next to each other.
Tay and
so-
Paul were going to be on the left hand stage, and it was literally like 15-20 minutes or something like that.
So I've got some queries about this stage setup because that
Go ahead.
sounds stupid to me.
Oh,
Did
no.
that cause any noise bleeding?
No, because they
No.
never played at the same time. So
Oh.
the left and right ones never played at the same time.
Ah, well, that makes sense. So
It
it's
was just the way
literally-
so that like
Right.
they were setting up
start
the
quicker.
set and the stage for the next band
I've got you.
ready for straight. So it was
Fully
literally
aware.
15-20 minutes, and the next band was
Right.
on the other side.
Right, because I was going
Um,
to say, because I knew that there was a lot of like overcrowding problems on the first day. So I thought that was contributing to it, where like there would be bands on at the same time, but like finish different times. You know what I mean? So I thought
Yeah,
that
no,
was why
it wasn't
was,
too. The main stages were fine. Some of the smaller stages were a little bit closer to each other.
Yeah.
To be fair, you couldn't really hear any stages, but there's a dance stage from Boiler Room, kind of sponsored or
Yeah.
whatever by Boiler Room, and you could hear that from a couple of the stages, like
Yeah.
when it got quieter.
Well,
And the way some of them
we'll
were
get
positioned,
on
if
to
you
that.
weren't, we'll get into that. But if
We'll
you
get on
weren't
to that, that's
positioned
fine.
right in front of the stage, you weren't hearing it very well. But the big ones were fine; they were very loud. So
Yeah.
during the end of Charlie XCX, we kind of burrowed our way through. Got quite a decent spot for Tame Impala. Check our highlighted story on Instagram and you'll see. And we watched Tame Impala.
It was at that point that both of our bodies started to die.
Right.
Start to
So
break down.
Um,
from
feet-
this, it's
Yeah.
quite clear you both work office jobs because this is so
Yep.
so soon into the festival. This is an issue for both of
It
you.
was Dinosaur Jr. that I was in pain. I didn't even make
Did
it
you wear
to
poor
the second one.
footwear, or are you just made of?
No,
fucking...
I don't
I
think
mean,
we
my
did.
trainers, I established by the end, are maybe a little bit narrow. But it's never been an issue before. But I can't do gigs anyway. I'm always bad with gigs. I was
Yeah,
saying to
we've-
Yanni when we went to see... who are we going to see?
Cribs.
Cribs. I was in so much pain at the end of that.
Yeah, I
so
came
was
away
Yanni.
with a rotten hip, basically, limping my way out of the stadium for that. Anyway,
Yeah.
Tame Impala, feet were fucking ragging. Base of my
Yep.
spine was killing. It made me feel
Yeah.
sick. So it was not the best gig experience I've been to, but Tame Impala were great. They played Running City Clouds or whatever it's fucking called, which they don't often play, which I think is from... It's either a B-side to the first album in a speaker, or it's like off the first EP. I can't remember which one. Might be a B-side to in a speaker. But yeah, that was good. They sort of updated that to fit the newer style as well. It was a bit more dancey.
Did they cover the Strokes?
They ruin it for us, why don't you?
God,
Bloody hell.
Is there point me being here? Fucking, I'm taking an interest.
But the light show was incredible. It was basically the
Amazing.
same sort of light show as when we saw in Blackpool, Cal, to be honest. But with it being outside as well, like there was a part where they brought out like the fog machine, so the whole stadium was obviously foggy, and then it sort of dispersed into the crowd a bit. And then there was like a rectangular sort of box that sort of went around that you could see like the lights through the fog, like going above us and everything. It was really sick to watch.
It was very good.
And like the strobe lights for Elephant, like across the whole thing, were amazing. It was, I think, 2 or 3 songs before the end of their set that we were like, let's beeline it towards like as front a stage as possible as we can for Pavement.
Yeah.
As we got to we got 10 people behind the barrier essentially at that point, they were like, oh, we're going to do a special cover, which turned out to be Last Night by the Strokes, because the Strokes cancelled unfortunately due to COVID, which, to be honest,
it worked out in our favour, to be honest,
It
because we were
did, it
fucking
really did.
knackered at that point. The second night.
but the cover was hands down a great cover.
So, were Strokes scheduled to play after Pavement?
No, stroke for the second
day,
night.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But yeah, the cover was solid. Like
It was it was good.
it was more or less identical to the actual song. It probably performed better than what it would have been if the Strokes performed it, if I'm being honest with you. Julian would have
Probably
forgotten
true.
half the words. So yeah, it was great. And then, like I said, they did that B-side song, which they don't often play. And then they finished. Pavement started. There was, I think, 2 songs in when they played Gold Sounds, maybe 3. But
Gold Sounds was third.
okay, I had Gold
I
Sounds.
can't remember what the second song was, but it was the second song that kind of got everyone moving.
Oh, right, okay. But second song got everyone moving. Liam sort of turned around, did a little nod, which I know at that point meant I'm going in.
We're
So
moving.
I clinged on for dear life to my curly boy and proceeded into the small mosh. I'm going to say small for now because I know what then later happened on at the festivals. And we managed to get about 4 from the front, I'd say.
Dead centre.
Dead
Nice.
centre. Great view. They played basically all the hits. And it was incredible.
Did
Yeah, it
you,
was amazing.
It shouldn't have been as good as it was, in my opinion.
Did you
It
make
sounded great.
eye contact with our friend Bob at any point?
He was too busy dancing around, having a great
he
time.
was having the time of his life, honestly.
Well,
and
That
it
was one thing,
phenomenal
is
to
that
watch.
they really the energy off them was brilliant. Like they were clearly having such a good time. They're so happy. Like you could just see occasionally Spiral Stairs would start smiling, or Mark would smile, and you could just see they were just happy to be back, kind of thing. And like the crowd where we were anyway were great. You know, a bunch of old men that were bouncing about, which is really
Yeah.
cool.
Was this your first time
Very
seeing them live? I know you're going later in the year. Was this the first time?
Yeah, first
Yep.
time.
First time.
Live up to the hype.
Definitely, even probably more
Definitely.
so. If I'm honest.
I think they, from like all the hundreds of videos I've watched them playing live, this is the best they ever played. Which makes sense. They're older. They've had a long time. They're no longer as scrappy as they once were, kind of thing. But it was great to hear the songs played really well.
And
Um,
I know, Cal, that you've obviously only recently sort of got into them, but you would have also really enjoyed the set 'cause they played a
I'm
lot of
sure,
right in the corners,
Yeah.
and there was quite a few off Slanted and Enchanted as well that they played. So you would have like known most of the songs that they played and would have
it was a
enjoyed
good varied set, to be fair. They didn't really play anything off Wowie Zowie, I don't think. Grounded
thank
maybe was one of the only ones.
I think it was only
Um,
Grounded, yeah. Thank God.
But yeah,
I'm kind of
But yeah,
regretting not
the
coming
rest
to
of
see them with you in Manchester now.
well, see if there's tickets.
you might be able to get tickets. They'll be spenny, boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good set. Really like once in a lifetime. Well, it's not, but well, it could be. You know, but essentially, also it was the first proper show back after a decade off. That's pretty
Yeah.
special. It was the first
Um,
time with their keyboard player. I think her name's Rebecca, if I remember rightly.
She was great.
She looked like she was having a great time,
Yeah.
and that really helped fill in the sound as well.
Yeah, she was sort
like
of
that was noticeable.
multi-instrumentalist kind of thing, wasn't she, doing all the little bits. And
Oh,
go on.
£110. So
Unlucky
yeah,
lad.
maybe not.
Unlucky.
I
The
didn't
other
realise
great
it was
like
in the Apollo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
they had a great
Yeah,
backdrop as well. That kind of I thought they would just have like lights on, to be honest, but they had like actual visuals and stuff going.
Yeah.
Definitely not like Tay and Bar level.
No, no.
Nowhere near. But
Um,
it didn't need to be.
Yeah,
pretty
no,
cool.
it was good for what it like. It suited what it was, didn't it?
Mhm.
And then we were in agony at that point. Obviously, like we said, wanted to die. Although bouncing around did help quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was just like staying static that made the pain worse. But then we obviously had to find our way back, which was a slight mare. We tried to get a bus, didn't work. Then we got onto the free shuttle that was from the festival to like Catalonia.
Plaza de
Catalonia?
Catalunya.
Yeah. Sorry, forgot he'd actually give it his full name.
Yeah.
Then we had
You
to
gave
get
no
off the-
context to saying Catalonia. We were in Catalonia the whole time.
Okay.
'Cause that's the name of the
Um,
region, Yanni.
Well, it's just on the metro. It says just Catalonia. That's fine. Anyway, and then we had to get off there and find another way. So we found another bus after waiting 5 minutes for a guy to finish smoking a cigarette, who was the bus driver. We tried to get on, and he went, mask? And I said, no, I haven't got a mask. Sorry. He was like, well, can't let you on. And they went, can you just do this? And he went, no, because if the police come, we'll be fined. But there's a mask. There's a shop up the road where you can get a mask. And I know I've told the story like 5 times now, so Liam's probably sick of me saying it. But he said something about 20 minutes. And I presumed he meant, well, I'm going to be here for 20 minutes. So, you know.
I actually assumed that he meant there's going to be another bus in 20 minutes. So we were on different
Well,
wavelengths at this point.
I've assumed that he meant it's going to take you 20 minutes.
Right,
So-
okay.
Very
Either way-
ambiguous.
Either way, we bombed it to the shop, which was literally just up the road. It
like a
wasn't
minute away.
far at all. Quickly got a mask, which cost a stupid amount for a singular mask. Got out of the shop. As we got out of the shop, we could see him turn around the corner and fuck off. So I was fuming with that. Luckily, there was another bus a couple of minutes after from somewhere else, and that took us right to a hotel. We got in, fell asleep, and it was a great night's sleep. Apart from the aircon, made it freezing.
What film did we watch on that first night?
No, we didn't watch a film. We watched Family Guy, or should it
What's Family Guy?
rightly be
Yeah.
called?
Le Padre de Familia.
That's right. We had obviously the Spanish version of Family Guy on.
Yep.
Luckily, we were able to find a way of changing it so the audio was back to the original, so it was converted back to American. But we had a great time watching that.
Yeah, we did.
Fell asleep then. Second day, Did we have the pool on the second day?
No.
No? Was that
No,
the
we
third
woke
day?
up at
That was
breakfast.
the third day.
Okay.
Well, based on photos.
No,
that
it
I
was the
received.
second day we got the pool.
Oh, fuck. Just stop recording.
Oh, no,
Okay, started recording again.
Oh yeah, it was the third day. What I mean is, it's the second full day we got on the pool. Yeah, the first day we woke up, we went out for breakfast. Strange but great, especially by the end of our trip. And then I don't actually remember what we did next. We
was
went
it the
to
second day we went
Sagrada
for the walk?
Familia.
Wow.
We went to
Cultured
go and see-
boys.
Went to go and see the Sagrada Familia.
Yeah.
We got there, we walked around it once, did a lap.
Yeah, and then we thought, oh, a
Went
bit
through.
peckish.
Yeah,
Bit peckish.
We
here,
did.
What should we get? Oh, that's right. We'll get a Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what we did.
Naturally.
Got a Taco Bell. I picked the worst meal there.
Well, yeah, see, I
because-
was confused because when we went, I'm sure you told me not to get a burrito. And Mr. Liam looked like he was eating a burrito.
I mean, the burrito was fantastic. The burrito was the best thing I
right.
had the whole trip. No, but I got one that for some reason came with tortilla chips instead of actual chips.
Don't get me fucking started on that.
No, it was upsetting to say the least. I also somehow managed to get a medium drink instead of a large, and a hard taco when I didn't really want a hard taco. I picked the wrong one. But the annoying thing about Taco Bell is that they're not. There's no leniency on those menu options. Do you know what I mean? Those set menus.
You
those
get what
set,
you're given.
Yeah, exactly. Get what you give. That's it. I couldn't find one that I was really into. They didn't have any chalupas, so.
Oh.
I had my
But-
usual quesadilla meal, which was a step up from the UK version, I will say, and I had a Fanta Limon with it, so that elevated it quite a bit. I won't lie.
My burrito had guacamole in, and which was actually a lovely little change. I never have guacamole. So.
Well, I was going to mention this later, but I've had 2 Taco Bells this week as well.
Wow.
Lovely.
One, me and Karis went to Liverpool for the day. The one on Bold Street. Honest to fucking God, it was catastrophic.
Yeah.
It was awful. It smelt like arse for a start. It was rank.
You might have been in Spain then, mate.
They had no chips, which was just unbelievable. So the Doritos are nice, but they're not the chips. Karis was moaning about the lack of spice, which completely fair. Overall, wasn't her best first impression of Taco Bell. And then when we went to Leeds for a gig, which will I be talking about that later? Does anyone care?
Just mention it now, mate. Get it out of the way.
Okay, well, we went to see Bloc Party in Leeds. It was a Christmas. That was fucking rude. Talking here. Yeah, it was a Christmas present from Karis. And I saw that there was a Taco Bell literally 2 minutes away from our hotel. And a step up from the Liverpool one, let's just say. There was some spicy sauce, all that blah, blah, blah. But Karis came to me and was like, oh, I've been here before. So her whole first Taco Bell was a lie, bitch.
Wow.
But yeah, chalupa meal, top tier. Leeds, you're doing Taco Bell correctly. But Bloc Party, they're fucking incredible live, you know. They're really, really good live. Because I've seen a few performances online and they've always been a bit hit and miss. Kelly, his voice was top tier. They played so many initially I was a bit annoyed by the set list. They didn't play all the hits. They didn't do I Still Remember and Talons and shit like that. But some of the deep dive album ones they played were actually really, really good. They kind of seem like they're enjoying making music again. And the new album ones really translated well live. They didn't play Callum as a snake because Kelly clearly didn't want the beef in person. But yeah, very good live, and we'll be going to see them again as soon as they tour again because they were that good.
Wow.
And Leeds is a great city. We need to go out in Leeds.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
no,
really
good.
Just waiting for the invite, mate.
That's the first time I've ever been. It's not like I go regularly.
Second day at the festival, we decided to take this one a lot easier.
we did.
So we saw Pond, I think 7-ish or maybe
8, I think it was.
Was it? Whatever. A time. We saw Pond at a time. We missed the very beginning of the set.
Yeah, I think we saw most of it. I think, did we?
Yeah, I think we missed 1 or 2 songs. I think.
That was an
Um,
annoying one where, like, if you weren't stood right in front of it,
You weren't getting the full
the sound
thing.
wasn't great. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was like a wall over to the side, so you could hear like the echo as well.
The
Mm.
what?
So
Sorry.
yeah, it wasn't great.
Echo.
Echo.
However, what we did see was good.
Was his
Nick,
chin gurning?
yeah, I was about to say, Nick was loving life. He wasn't as off his face as when me and Liam saw him support Tame Impala for the first time.
Yeah,
He was
he was
well
a
and
lot more with
truly nutted at that one.
Was that just Nick or was it Pond?
Just Nick, that
just
one.
Nick.
He was Konski. But on this, he was enjoying himself. A couple of good or funny crowd interactions. Someone had a cut out of Hasbulla. I was going to say a miniature cut out of Hasbulla, but
It was life
it was
size.
probably life size.
It definitely was.
And he did not know who that was. Someone had to explain it to him. But it was funny. And then he also said, have a ripper time.
Ripper
Which
time.
me and Liam decided to incorporate into our language
We adopted
the rest
that
of the
fully,
trip. Yeah, and they were good. And then who did we see after that? Who was it? I can't remember.
Fontaine's DC.
Oh yeah,
Just-
of course.
Sorry, just to butt in for Pond.
Yeah.
Was there any overlapping lineup between Tame Impala and Pond, or have they like completely got different lineups nowadays?
The people.
The guy
Is
who's
one
in
of the keys
Gum.
player?
Is that Jay?
Yes, Jay. Yeah. Jay. He is in Pond. We couldn't see the drummer for Pond because it was the angle we were at. But I think it was just Jay, to be honest with you. It might have been the drummer as well. Well, like someone else, I don't know. But the rest of them were different. They played Mothwings, which sounded great.
That's what you sent, wasn't it, or put on the story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also played Toast off the new album as well. And then they played some other ones which I wasn't that familiar with, but either way, it sounded good. It was enjoyable.
That Guinness is fucking rank. Sorry.
And then, as Liam stated, at that point we went to Fontaine's DC, who were
So
at
you did.
one of the main stages. So that was quite a walk to get there.
We got there early though, so we managed to find like a good spot and sit down for a bit before it, which was good.
Great place to mention this now. The amount of people that were smoking in the middle of these crowds was unbearable. It was like you could not breathe as it was anyway when it was like going on. It was dead sweaty and horrible. And then there'd just be like cigarette fumes in your face or weed fumes in your face every fucking minute.
Well, when we were
sat down, okay, he's going to ruin it. When we were sat down waiting for Fontaine's DC, some guy with a fucking cigar just smoking. Why?
On his own.
Why would you do that? So yeah, that was mean. But anyway, Fontaine's DC started. Everyone stood up a bit too early for them, but so we had to push forward a bit more for that. Fontaine's DC, incredible live, unbelievable. Liam said this, I think. Well, he definitely did. I remember him telling me, but I agree with him. A lot of the songs sound a lot better live, like in terms of most of the album we listened to recently, a lot of the songs were quite repetitive and boring a bit at times. They dragged on, but it translated differently live. You could get a lot more into it.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it all just sounded great. The actual performance from them was brilliant as well. The energy from Grian, the singer, he was just up and down. Just looked like he was like raring for it, kind of thing. Really good. And yeah, nice varied set list, I think, from across the 3 albums. And some of the ones that I would have thought, I hope they don't play. I can't think off the top of my head, but like some of the more repetitive ones, I suppose. And then live, they were just like completely different. It's like that's the ultimate way to listen to Fontaine's DC is live, 100%.
Yeah. Out of all the acts that we saw that weren't the main headliners for the day, I think we're both in agreement that Fontaine's DC were the best.
Definitely.
And they probably topped maybe some of the actual headliners at some point as well. But yeah, they were great. And then after that, who did we go see then? Parquet? Or was that the third day?
If someone could get our story up, I
it
can't
was
do it. I'll
Parquet
have to put
Courts, wasn't it?
die. Possibly Parquet Courts, yeah.
Parquet Courts. And at this point, that was when the bleeding from the other stages became apparent, because that's where the boiler room one was right next to essentially where the other stage was for Parquet. So as they were sort of starting off, before it, the sounds built up a bit, you could still hear from the boiler room stage. But as Parquet Courts got into it, it sort of that drowned out. It was good. I was a little bit disappointed with their set. There was a lot of like jamming.
Yeah. It was a short
which-
set, wasn't it? It was like less than an hour, I think they played.
Yeah, it was a short set, and it was padded out with jam songs and just them mucking about on stage with just playing around with stupid stuff instead of playing like actual songs, which seems like a stupid thing to do at a festival. Like you just play like all the hits, get them all out. But yeah, so that was. But they played
played a
very
few.
well. But as well, and yeah, they did play a couple of the songs we know. They played Stoned and Starving, as well as Freebird
2.
2, and
In and Out of Patience.
yeah, and what's the other one with the funky bass line? Wide Awake.
Yep.
Which was a bop, to be honest.
They were all great live, to be fair. Yeah, they have more of those songs, and so it was a bit of a shame that they kind of decided just to jam on the end of a few songs a few times and extend out, especially when you do have such a short set. But still good, still played well.
It was at that point that Warpaint were then on. They overlapped, which was like one of the only times I think where we kind of bothered about seeing two artists that were overlapping. So we made our way to Warpaint. It was packed to the brim. We managed to cut in a little bit to like the side of it, so we weren't head on. They were playing a slow one where it was basically just one of them around the acoustic guitar and the others around the mics. And we looked at each other and thought, can't really be arsed standing up for this. Let's just fuck off. We've seen them before, twice. So, we weren't really that desperate to see any of the new ones live.
So was there nowhere at the back of these stages to sit down?
Mate, you could not get to the back of Warpaint. It was
No, there was no. It's a very strange place. It's hard to
'cause
describe what the different stages are like.
in my head, all I've got to compare this to is Benny Cassim, and there was room at the back of them stages where you could sit down. Like on the main stage, there was a grassy bit where you could sit down. So
No, there was one stage that had steps down to it, where you could kind of sit on those kind of big steps, if that makes sense. That you could sit on, or there's a grassy hill which we sat on the next day, which we'll talk about in a minute. But that filled up very quickly because they were quite a good spot. To be fair, if you weren't that bothered about being in the kind of middle of it, but that was it. That was the only kind of place you could kind of sit down. Everywhere else was massive open spaces.
I think,
but some of them are a bit smaller, but still they were always chocker.
I think before we went to see Parquet Courts, actually, we sat down on a bit further back on the step stage. I'll just call the step stage for now because it makes no difference what I call it. Doesn't really, you're not going to know.
Cupra,
yeah, it was the actual name. But Little Sims was playing.
Oh yeah.
And I sat down, we both. Well, you went to the bar, didn't you? But I saw a couple of the songs she played.
I could hear the bar was right next to it. To be fair.
Yeah. She was decent. She didn't play any of the ones that I knew. To be honest, apart from
she played. Is it a Papa Papa's a Rolling Stone? Is one of the lyrics. But I can't remember what the song's called.
I can't really remember it.
That was one of the singles off last album. She played that one when I was at the bar.
But I mean, she was good for what she was doing. That makes sense. Just I wasn't really that arsed about it. So yeah, it was Warpaint, and then it was meant to be King Gizzard and their Lizard Wizard. But we thought, and very wisely, we thought, yeah, we'll get to see them another day. At this.
Well, it wasn't just that as well. Yeah, one it was we'll see them another day because they were playing in the city. and also it was like an hour gap between the end of Warpaint, because I think Beck played in between.
Mm.
So there was a big. We were like, do we kind of hang around for Warpaint and then wait like 2 hours for King Gizzard as well? Which, but we, as you said, Yanni, we very correctly and intelligently thought we'll see them in the city.
Yeah. The only other artist that we were, well, I suppose you were him as well. We're bothered about seeing was Jamie XX, but he was after King Gizzard.
Yeah.
And it was like 2:30 when he'd start. So we thought,
I
fuck
think it was
it.
even free.
Was it? Fuck
Yeah.
it. Let's get an early night because the third night was like the longest one. So we got back home, got to the
We
hotel.
left at midnight.
Yeah, left at midnight. Got to the hotel, and boy, did we have the time of our life watching Fast and Furious, the first Fast and Furious movie.
Wow.
Really good.
Slim Diesel. The amount of we should have done a commentary track for the film, to be honest, and released it because it was hilarious. It was Mr. Ambiguous. We've established. So ambiguous. They'll never be able to catch him. And he's so slim in that first film.
He's so slim.
So slim. You can see through him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we enjoyed watching that. We realised that we both fall asleep like that. It's scary how fast we fall asleep. We'd be talking to each other and then ask them a question. The other person would just be on. So yeah, and then one of the times during the day we went to the pool. There were 2 girls that were also at the festival who missed the second day and were asking, had it got better, like bar situation? We said yes. They were going as well for the first and third days. The joke was, seeing the festival, clearly we wouldn't see them in the festival because it was chocker. And when we got to the Fezzy, after doing a little walk around Barcelona during the day for a little bit, the first band we saw would have been who, Liam?
That's a great question.
It is.
We really should have made notes for this.
We got there at 10 o'clock to Black Country New Road.
Yes.
Wow.
But we didn't get there at 10 o'clock.
We did not get there at 10 o'clock. We planned to get there at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we got there quite a bit later than that. So we saw the last.
Why were we late?
I don't know.
We were just late leaving the
Just
hotel,
late.
I think, weren't we?
Yeah. We saw them finish off. No, so I think we saw like 2.5 songs. I feel like we came in as they were playing one, we went for a piss straight away. And then they played one as we were coming out of the piss and walking to the stage.
Out the piss.
Out the piss.
As we were stepping, emerging from the piss. Toilets were great, by the way. Toilets were fine.
Yeah,
Good toilets.
Brilliant.
Are they still not playing any of the old tracks at all?
Well,
No.
didn't when we were there.
They will never, by the sounds of it. Seems
No.
like they're completely not doing that.
Bit annoying.
So we basically saw 2 full songs, and they were both great.
Who's singing?
Pretty much everyone's. I was about to say pretty much everyone sang apart from the drummer.
Yeah, so the bass player seems like she's probably going to sing the most. From what I've seen, this is from other things I've seen. And the saxophonist, they seem to sing probably the most between them. But does she play keys or is she violin? She was singing when we got
one
there.
from Jockstrap.
Yes.
Did you say so?
Yeah, she's the one
Yeah.
from Jockstrap. Tyler, the
She
bass player.
also sings.
Right.
Yeah, she
Cool.
was singing
A song or two.
the second to last one we saw, I believe.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, they were great, as you'd expect them to be. To be honest with you, like they met expectation levels. So solid.
Mhm.
After them, we went to see someone else, didn't we?
Fucking hell. Someone's gonna have to get a list of here. I honestly do not remember. This is the third night now we're on, aren't we? We're on the
Is
block.
it Nick Cave?
Did we go straight over to Nick Cave?
Was it straight away? We went. I'm going to have a quick.
No, we
look.
went to Cooper and we watched King Cruel.
That was it. King Cruel, who was good as well.
Does
Good.
King Cruel still have that angry ginger bass player?
Yes. and he was in having the time of his life saying "Dumb suffer."
Do you know now they actually say
or
don't
suffer.
suffer as well?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Oh, Liam, you are a funny man.
We got a nice seat in the grassy hill that we mentioned earlier. It was not
The
very
grassy
grassy. It was
knoll.
quite dry actually, next to the steps. So that was nice. We got to sit down. Although a lizard did run over my leg at one point, which freaked me out a little bit.
Fuck.
Yeah. But it was good. Like it wasn't perfect view or anything, but we could see on the screens, and it's a pretty solid set, I think.
Yeah. He
Um,
played a couple of the first album cuts, Dumb Suffer or Don't Suffer, as well. And what's the one off the most latest album that I feel like is the most popular one? One about a fucking takeaway or something. I don't know. It's Stoned Again, I think it might be called.
yeah, Stoned Again. Yeah.
Yeah, he played that as well as some other ones that I didn't really know, to be honest. But they all sounded good. Annoyingly, he had to cut his set short, and he missed one song. That one song, "I'll Get Him Ribs."
Knew it would be that one.
How
Crying.
did you know that, Jan? I didn't.
He posted it on his Instagram.
Why
Well,
did
we
he
should
have to
mention
cut
that also we
short?
missed out on Pavement. They cut their set short as well.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
Despite being the last people on those stages, they didn't play In the Malfa Desert, which is one we were both very much looking forward to. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a bit devastating to find out after the fact. But
Did King
ended on
Cole say
easy.
why
So-
he had to cut short?
just timing wise, I think it's just very tight because you have to. Well, for him, it would be like someone else is going to come onto his stage, so he would have to make sure he's in
Yeah.
there. I was quite surprised with how well the band's kept in line. Like you'd have thought some
Mm.
of them would have been like, "Fuck off! I'm just going to play what I want to play,"
Mm.
but they were very like on the ball with it. To be fair,
there was someone who went over, but I can't remember who now. Doesn't matter. I just can't remember. So
Yeah.
there we
Anyway.
go.
Thanks, Liam.
welcome.
And then we made our way to the main stages, and that's where we caught a glimpse of Nick in his cave with his
Mhm.
very naughty seeds.
Buggers.
No, we didn't see a glimpse of Nick's cave.
I did.
but yeah.
You not?
No, I wasn't looking in that direction.
Now, I think by this point, most people know Nick Cave is a bucket list act for me. I sincerely hope you both gave him the respect and attention he deserved.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, 100%.
We only
Because
saw.
I've looked
on.
at the set list
Mm.
and it was fucking incredible.
Were the last 3 songs incredible?
Fuck's sake, he played "Oh Children," Yanni, and you missed it.
I missed
put-
those children.
He played that like
To be
fourth in the set.
To be fair, Callum,
Oh,
he was
for
the only
fuck's
one. He
sake.
had like a 2-hour set.
Yeah, he
No
did.
one else
Jesus.
had
It's Nick
anywhere
fucking
near that
Cave.
long. Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking Pavement were there. Nick Cave.
Fuck off.
But what
I
we
am
heard sounded
upset
alright.
about that. Oh, children. I've been better off not knowing that. So thanks.
Yeah,
for
I
ruining
think it was "Oh Children," then Jubilee Street. So
it.
you
Oh,
really.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, we couldn't have anyway. I
and-
don't think we left King Crawl, went to get a drink, went to the toilet, and
Yeah,
Fuck
King
King
Crawl
Crawl
finished 15 minutes into Nick Cave's set, so
Yeah.
like it was.
Yeah, fuck King Crawl off. That's what I'd have done. But anyway,
Mm.
the ending of the set was definitely the weak point for me. So you had
Well,
fun
Yeah, it was also weak for us. The performance of it was great. Like everyone on that stage was brilliant. But it's just the songs we.
Yeah, it was
we
just this
weren't-
really somber end. It was really weird.
Yeah.
they played the
Um,
kind of a heavier one at some point towards the very end. I quite
Yes,
enjoyed
I
that.
think that was White Elephant from Carnage. I think that was the last one of the main
Could be.
set
I
that
remember
they
saying
played.
that actually.
And I said
Um,
to Yanni, if there's an album full of this, I'd listen to it.
Yeah, Carnage. It's got White Elephant and Hand
I
of
think I
God.
remember
They're
listening to
two
that.
good tunes. Yeah, we did listen to it on the pod.
Yeah, but what we did see, he was great anyway.
Was he wearing a full black suit?
Obviously, Yeah.
Nutter.
yeah,
Nutter of a
fucking
man.
sweating.
He's
To be honest,
Australian. He's
Most of them
used to
were,
the worst.
I think, apart from like the backing singers. I think
They were
Who's
all
the one with
sweating
the-
or all wearing suits.
all wearing suits. Who's the one with the big,
Warren
great
Ellis.
bushy beard?
Warren
Yeah,
Ellis.
Warren Ellis.
The man. The
He
absolute
was-
boy.
Yeah, he was wearing a full suit, and he was. I should expect him to be. You've seen videos of him play. He was basically like that.
Was he on the violin at any point?
No, but oh yeah, mention the violin. It doesn't relate to Nick Cave, but during one of the Black Country New Road songs, I'm sure she started playing bass with a bow,
Yeah.
Wow.
which was
Yeah, pretty cool.
unusual to see. I mean, it works, obviously, it
Yeah.
would do, but it was just unusual to see.
Mhm.
So yeah, while Nick Cave was playing with his Naughty Seeds, we sort of pushed through to get a good spot for Gorillaz. They were great. They brought out Most Def, De La Soul, Slow Tie.
Fucking hell. Slow Tie
Um,
at the festival.
Yeah, he played
Yeah,
before,
he did his
like
own set as well.
a couple of hours before. And it's going to be bad, but I don't know her name. I probably get it, but the
Yeah.
lady who sings on Désolé.
Désolé.
um,
Désolé.
But yeah, and was there anyone else? No, I think that was it.
And another guy, but I don't know who it was.
Oh yeah, the one who did the like garage remix of Clint Eastwood,
Clint Eastwood.
and also his own song. Well, another song that they've done, but they were all great. Most Def,
Fatoumata
I was in-
Diawara.
that's it. Most Def was incredible. Like we were sort of both in shock that we'd just seen Most Def step out on stage because, well, Liam didn't know, but there's some issues he's had with visas. Should we say?
Yeah, I wasn't aware.
So it was quite a shock to see him. And he was great on Stylo. And then he had his own one, which was an actual song, but when it was there, it felt like it was sort of like a freestyle kind of song. And it was cool. They played Feel Good Inc., which De La Soul were rapping on. Clint Eastwood, they played obviously, which transitioned into a garage version, which is one that they've released like years ago when Clint Eastwood came out. And that was a vibe, just to use a word for all the cool kids out there. The song was Slow Tie and Slaves weren't there, but Momentary Bliss, I think it's called. Translated a lot better live. I will be honest. Still not a massive fan of the song. I think it's a bit pants, but it was good live. And Désolé was good as well. They played a lot of older songs, I think we realised, didn't we?
There's
looking
quite a
at
lot
the
I really just didn't recognise at all.
Right.
If that means anything.
No Sean
I've listened
Ryder.
to this album. No, he didn't turn up.
No.
Sean.
All right,
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Barcelona, going. wasn't there.
And then Gorillaz
They didn't play
finished-
Dare at all.
No, they didn't. It was
It's a
not
shame.
there in the set list. And then Gorillaz finished. Tyler started. We
Hang on.
pushed
Hang on.
through.
You haven't talked. You haven't touched on the cartoons.
Oh shit! Yeah, the whole like back of it was animated with the cartoons. Some of it was from the music videos. So like the Stylo music video, I remember distinctly, and
Mhm.
Clint Eastwood, the music video for that was playing, and it was all synced with the audio like perfectly. So
It was really good.
it was just, it was great. It was what you would hope to get from a Gorillaz experience live, because
Yep.
obviously it's all about the cartoons and everything, and it just works so well. Are you happy with that, Liam?
Yeah, spot on.
Sound. After that, we then pushed through to a decent spot for Tyler.
Yeah,
Um,
surprisingly decent. I think quite a lot of people were leaving after Gorillaz.
Yeah. Tyler came on. The sweatiest part of the whole festival. The most raucous part of the whole festival. I can't remember which one started off like proper moshing, but at one point, again, I got one of the Liam nods, I'm going in things. So gripped onto him. We pushed through. We ended up being somewhat to the side at one point, and then he played Who Dat Boy. At that point, the pyrotechnics kicked in, which was
Fucking hot.
unnecessary.
So hot.
But it also opened up a pit, and so we pushed our way to the rim of the pit,
Mm.
and
Dove right in.
dove right in, and then we ended up basically smack bang in the center of the stage. Well, crowd, but the stage, and near the front, essentially. Again, it was
3 or
probably
4 people
about
in
the
front of us.
place. Yeah, we were for pavement, pretty much.
Mm.
And we thought for the pit for that was mental. It was like fucking out. Liam at one point turned around to me and went, "Someone's gonna die tonight," which is exactly what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And then he decided, that wasn't enough. And he played New Magic Wand. And the pit for that was fucking mental.
Huge.
He stopped
I've
the
never
song
seen such a big circle.
partway through and went, "This is what I wanted. This is the energy I was after when I was making this song." And it was.
He said, like, I almost cried then when I started that. He said, when I first made this in my bedroom, this is exactly what I was hoping for. Just pretty cool.
He was, so he was loving it. The crowd was fucking loving it. It was unbearably sweaty.
So
Liam
wet.
did a very funny hat tip where he'd take off his hat and go in the air, which did make me laugh. Yeah.
It was so wet.
He was doing it because he was
just kinda
sweaty,
spun around
but
like a fan.
it was also like he was sort of cheering him on, like, he ran to like one side of the stage and someone was swinging around a Ehor wig. I had to point to my head to figure out what the word was. Although this isn't the wig. Swear down.
That's not what I saw in that hotel room.
That was my I can't remember the fucking name of it. Whatever they call it when the actors wear the fake thing. Anyway, the Tyler set was great. And we then were hoping we'd get to see a bit of Disclosure. We got there. This was on the Cooper stage, which was one with loads of stairs. Basically impossible to get into that crowd at all.
It was packed up to the stairs, the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
There was no space.
I started making my way down the stairs, got what felt like halfway down, but in fact wasn't halfway down the stairs. Liam came behind me.
I couldn't follow,
afterwards.
obviously being slightly bigger. I just couldn't get through the space that you got through at all. But it was the most packed.
Slightly bigger than me.
Slightly. And like it was so dangerous as well. Like there were people behind me that I could feel pushing, and I was like, we're on fucking like steep stairs. This is like, if someone loses their foot in here, a lot of people are gonna get hurt. So we got like to a point and we're like, right, let's just go back. Let's just leave.
Yeah, I turned around. I was like, let's just not bother with this. So we heard part of one song, but to be honest, at that point we were both dripping. I mean, dripping with sweat.
Think of what I'd have been like.
Bruised. And that was enough. The getting home situation from that day was the worst. It was horrendous. Nothing was running because it was like at that awkward time where just things stopped running. Essentially,
it's like 4 a.m. at this point, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had to wait an hour until like the metro would start. The only taxis for ages that we could find, you had to book. I tried booking one. It took ages trying to fucking circle around us, and then decided to cancel, even though it was literally like down the road.
Mm-hmm.
We debated getting on the fucking like bikes with the little carts in the back,
like a tuk-tuk kind of thing.
Like a tuk-tuk, yeah. But they were charging far too much money for the service, and it didn't even take us to the place. So we'd have to get another thing once we got to somewhere close by. And then we walked about for ages. Some guy was like, "Where are you going to? I'll follow you," and it was a bit awkward because we kind of just left him as if we.
It's like I thought, well, if we can get a taxi and we can split it, then fair enough. This fella can jump in. He's like an Irish fella, wasn't he? But like otherwise, you're not getting on this tuk-tuk with us, mate. There's only 2 seats.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He ended up getting a tuk-tuk by himself. So which must have cost him a fortune. But then we were walking down the street. So we thought if we're gonna like be wandering about, we may as well head in that general direction towards where we need to go. And out of luck, Liam spotted a taxi behind some bins and was just like, "I'm just going to ask him." And it was one of the same ones where you had to book in advance as well. But you just asked him, and the guy thankfully took us on.
Well, he said at first, where are you going? And I said Plaza de España, which is where our hotel was. And he said, "Oh no, too far." I said, "Well, what about Plaza de Catalunya because we can then get a bus from there, which wouldn't be a massive deal. And he said, it's going to cost blah, blah, blah. And he said, €40. And Yanni went, €40? Yeah, he said, yep, done. And he's like, yeah, okay. So we paid €40 to get, but thankfully he dropped us off outside his hotel. We got in the car and he was like, so Plaza de España, yeah? Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Oh,
He
that's
then
fair play.
drove like a madman.
Yeah, really did.
all the way.
He was watching the fucking pedestrian lights to know when he could go. 'Cause he was not waiting on those for the amber ones.
Gone.
So, yeah, that was a bit nerve-wracking. But
That took
we
so
got
long
there
to get home.
because-
That was a good 25-minute drive, that.
Yeah, to be
It
honest, I
felt
think
like it.
the €40 was actually all right considering the time it took. But yeah, anyway, then we got home eventually. I don't think we watched Pacific Rim that night, didn't we? We were debating going up to the bar that was on top of the hotel, but thought no, it's too crowded. It's a bit awkward. People are probably thinking something wrong with these two fellas here because we're walking like weirdos. So yeah, we just stayed in the hotel and watched Pacific Rim, which has Charlie
No,
Day in.
you've
We did not.
you've skipped a night here, Jan.
Have I?
Yeah, we did that after the next night.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember
was
what we
the
watched in that.
third night. Maybe you just went to sleep.
I think we probably just went straight to sleep. It was about
I think
5 o'clock in
I
the
got
morning.
a
when we got
shower
home.
and went to sleep. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I needed to wash off everything that
It's
had
very late.
accumulated that day. Yeah, and then fourth day, which obviously wasn't the festival at that point. Well, the main weekend of the festival.
We hadn't mentioned
We-
that day we were just talking about. Then we went and got in the pool. We didn't discuss that, did we? Oh yeah. Sorry, we did.
I did. Yeah, you pay attention to the story, will you?
Yeah, I'm lost. So
Um,
many days.
Yeah, we then. Was there anything during the day there? I can't remember. Did we go around?
We went to go and see Casa Mila and Casa Batlo.
Oh yeah, and we had the best food I've ever had in my whole life.
Some great
my
tapas.
whole life. It was fantastic. Tapas, Liam's first tapas experience. I won't get into detail because I can already tell the segment's going on for fucking ages. But it was great food. Fourth night, yeah, we were going to go up top but didn't. We watched Pacific Rim. Then the final.
Well, you didn't.
day.
You didn't mention why we went and watched Pacific Rim. What were we
I don't
trying
know.
to do before that? We
Even
tried
I
to
know,
go
Sammy,
and
come on,
see.
fucking hell.
We tried to go and see some bands in the city.
Oh shit, yeah.
Fucking hell, wake
Go
up,
on.
man.
You tell him.
So we went. So there were some shows happening in the city through this week that's on now between the two weekends. And the first night, well, that was the first night that was happening. We wouldn't have been able to make the second night because we were flying out at 10 o'clock. So this was Sunday night. We wanted to go and see Ice Age and King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. We were in one venue. And then in a different venue, Shame were playing later that night. So our plan was we'll go to those two, then go and see Shame, have a great time. Maybe pop in and see Beck on the way because he was in between. Great fun time. Pop in and see all these bands.
Bit of Caro, why not?
The
Eh?
Caro Bonito at the end, maybe after Shame because they crossed over a little bit. We would have had a great time in our dreams. However, we spent a little bit too long at the tapas place, eating our delicious food.
Having pint drinks out of a fucking gin glass.
Yeah, having a great time. And we got to the place where Ice Age was about to start a bit too late. And the queue went on for about 6.5 miles, or so it seemed, which we joined the end of and quickly discovered there was absolutely no chance we were getting into this venue. We completely kind of misunderstood the whole system, I suppose, which wasn't clear.
Yeah.
Which is
So
that
are
people are
these-
going to go and stay in that one venue the whole time, and you're not going to be able to go in or out anywhere, basically.
Right.
Go on,
So are these gigs free for people who'd been to
Yes.
Primavera? Right.
So if you've got a
But-
weekend ticket, you I'll have a free entry, but it's obviously first come, first serve. You could have
Yeah.
paid €15 to go, anyone. So if you're not at the festival but you live in Barcelona, you could pay €15 to go. But that was only 15% of the overall capacity. And if you had both weekends tickets, you
VIP.
kind of had like a VIP line, so you probably almost certainly guaranteed to get in, kind of thing. We didn't. We completely underestimated the demand for these gigs. We thought,
Mhm.
probably won't be many people there. We'll be fine. There was a lot of people there. So as soon as we realised we weren't getting into Ice Age, we thought, well, we'll head over to the place where Shame's playing later, because there was like 2 or 3 bands on before Shame that we didn't really recognise at all. So we got a bus to there. It took like 10-15 minutes, and found exactly the same situation there. Massive queue. We stood on that one for a bit, probably like half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. And
It got to
again,
about
just like
10:30, 10:15 maybe. I think it might
Yeah.
have been. Shame
And
went
we
on
were-
until 1:45, was it? Wasn't it?
yeah.
stupid?
So we would have been stood in that queue for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and potentially still not got in at all. So at that point, we were kind of like, well, let's just cut our losses and just go home. Which was, a massive shame, and not the right kind of shame, unfortunately. But we did go back to the hotel and watch Pacific Rim.
Yeah, we did also manage to see the Arc de Triomphe. L'Arc de
Oh yeah, we
Triomphe.
walked past. It.
Yeah, which was very underlit, um, considering the time. Just mad how many people are just out and about in Barcelona. By the way, at like late times, like even
Yep.
when we were coming out the festival at like 4:00 or whatever, just people just chilling, just like doing nothing, talking to each other. Great life, clearly.
Mhm.
No worries.
Cutting
It's
apart.
fantastic.
That's what happens when
Um,
you can have a little siesta in the middle of the day.
It is. And I had many of those. It was great. But yeah, then we watched Pacific Rim. Charlie Day was in it, which took me by surprise. He was very smooth. His face was far too
Yeah, very
smooth
young looking.
for the film. It was disgusting to watch. Last day, we did a bit more sightseeing.
Mhm.
We went to, was it Parkway first? Was that what we went to?
Parkway,
Was it?
yes.
We didn't really do that much sightseeing, did we? In the end.
No, we went to see Parkway, which was lovely. Yanni, do you agree?
It was. We had to.
Designed by Gaudi.
2 nights before, we bought another 6-pack because we'd already finished a 6-pack of the lemon,
Damn lemon.
whatever it's, damn lemon. So we bought another one just because why not? Why would you not buy that? It's delightful as a drink. We didn't have it, so we were like, well, we're gonna have to take these drinks out because we had to check out the hotel at 12. So we took the 6-pack with us, like a bunch of scallies, drank that on like the side of a walk while we were waiting to get in because you'd like booked a certain
Just
time
outside
to
the
get in.
park.
Yeah. So it was a very light buzz as we were walking around Parkway. It was very nice. Beaming down heat. It was sweating. There was a stupid queue for the bathroom, which
Mhm.
people just did not understand how to use a toilet in a situation like that. Like, why are you going for a dump when?
Well, the
there's,
men's
like,
had a bit more context. The men's had one cubicle.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was supposed to also have urinals, but they were closed off for some reason. So when we got there, whoever was in there when we got there was in there for like what felt like 3 hours
yeah,
having a shit.
stupid.
And there's like 16 people outside waiting.
But yeah, we did that. We took some nice photos. Then went down to like the bottom of it. Got like a little stein of. It wasn't Australia. It was a different one. Wasn't it? A different beer.
Yeah. Can't remember what it's called, though.
And then we made our way back to where the Sagrada Familia was. We were debating like the day before going in, but we couldn't really be bothered.
Mhm.
On our way, we had a phone call reminding us that we probably should do something while we're in Barcelona that we've been
Mhm.
asked to do for quite a while since it's been known. So we thought, okay, last day, we better go and do this.
Mhm.
I was shaking like a shitting dog as we were walking into this place.
Yeah.
And almost passed out while it was about to happen. But eventually, in the end, we both managed to get something that, unfortunately, or fortunately, is going to be on us for the rest of our lives. Liam, do you want to show people what we've done?
Let's do it. Mine looks so
Wow.
stupid from this angle. I don't know if Callum can see it.
Wow.
We got matching tattoos. Well, almost matching. Mine's filled in. Yanni's
Yeah.
is just not like.
Regretfully, Liam's is filled in.
Fucking hell.
Why did you get it filled in, Liam?
I just prefer
did.
the look of it filled in, I suppose. Yeah.
So yeah, in case anyone who's wondering, that's the Woo Life symbol. Obviously, we've covered Woo Life in a classic, and as you probably know from listening to that, it is quite special to me and Liam. So we thought we'll get that one. We were going to try and get something for like related to the festival, like maybe something to do with pavement, but we both were too indecisive, so
Yeah, we
we
couldn't
got
agree.
that. Liam was also indecisive about where to get it. He had to get the stencil moved about 10
Half my arm is
times.
shaved because she just kept sticking stencils on.
Um,
It was
and
not
yeah,
a great place in the end, but there we go.
no, because he can't rest his arm on anything.
I can't put my arm down. Yeah, I'm really struggling.
But yeah, fine. My first tattoo experience, I will say, it was absolutely fine. Nothing wrong. Wasn't painful. Slight discomfort sometimes, but that was it. Lovely Spanish lady did it, and she was very calming about the whole thing. So great. 10 out of 10. There was a Polaroid of Lydia and Liam, who got a tattoo in the same gaff a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Oh,
3 years
that
ago.
was still there.
Awesome.
And yeah, so we got those. And then we went to, I'm only going to mention it because we've talked about food and I thought let's mention it. Went to McDonald's. We went to 2 different McDonald's. I went to the airport one. Liam went for one round that
Before the airport.
place. Yeah. And we both ended up getting like a deluxe cheese or like a muck deluxe cheese or muck cheese, something. Basically, it was just burger, like quarter pounder burger, but an actual quarter pounder burger, like size wise, bacon, slice of cheese, and then a cheese sauce. Sounds rank, delicious.
See,
Did they have a
mine
McRib?
was
Was that an
different to
option?
yours though. Did yours not have crispy onion on?
I took mine off because I didn't like
Ah,
onions.
okay. And mine didn't have a cheese sauce. I actually think I was under cheesed, but I
Are
had.
you sure? Yours looked like it had a cheese sauce.
It wasn't. It had a cheese slice, but it didn't have loads of cheese on.
Mm.
Maybe it did have a cheese sauce, but it wasn't. It wasn't much. For when they were saying like an extreme cheese, I was expecting like cheese to be thrown at me.
Oh, you also
but
got,
I had 2
come.
burgers. I had 2 pies
yeah.
on mine.
And you got like the shake fries. So it's basically like
yeah.
salt and shake, but instead of the salt, it was cheese powder, like you put like macaroni, cheese powder kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pull it in a bigger bag, shake it about. Very nice. Tasted a bit
Awesome.
like Quavers to me.
Tasted like the
the
pasta
sole of a foot.
pasta go kind of cheese and broccoli pasta thing you get.
So
Was
yeah,
the
If
was
you
the
know, you know.
McRib an option?
no.
No, I don't
Fuming.
think it was.
But yeah, that's been our Barcelona experience.
Yeah.
If we're going to rate the festival, because I just thought of that right now as I said it. I don't know what I'd rate it. Liam, canonically, it would be you that would go first. So
Lovely. I mean, I've only ever been to one other festival, and that was Leeds, which I mean, completely different kettle of fish.
Box of Frogs.
I would say it's based on many different things, this isn't it? But I think it was a pretty solid festival. I mean, out of 10 or 5, what am I doing here?
5. Come on, fuck it. Let's mix it up.
It's a 4 out of 5, I reckon.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4 as well. The actual place, like the venue, it feels weird calling it a venue because it's multiple areas, but the grounds or whatever was great. Everything was clean as it could be. Great options for food and stuff.
Loads of food options, yeah.
I forgot to mention Liam's arse this whole trip was ridiculous. he would
After
not
the second
stop
night, I had
farting.
some African food that maybe didn't sell so well.
Yeah.
Little
But
spicy.
yeah, like the whole venue, the whole like Primavera festival itself was great, and the acts were once in a lifetime for a lot of them.
Yep.
So yeah, I'd also give it a 4 out of 5.
It's really bands that are once in a lifetime that kind of you'd always want to see. But I'd never pay to go, like Gorillaz, for example.
Yeah.
Like I would always love the idea of going to see Gorillaz. I would never go and pay, and I imagine it's quite expensive to go and see Gorillaz. And yeah, I think there's a bunch of them like that, which have made it definitely worth the $1.
Definitely.
We also
Carl,
got a
you
free T-shirt, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did. I've not got one with me.
I've got it here.
Okay. We both got one of the same, which was free. With our tickets. I don't know if it was because of the delay of 2 years or whatever, or whether it would have just been free
Yeah, it was.
anyway.
It was.
Liam, do you want to get that open?
And we also got €20 worth of free drinks.
Which was one drink, essentially.
So that was, you can't really tell. It's the same on the back. And it says member.
Mm-hmm.
Primavera Sound.
It's in association, I think is the word to use, with Pull and Bear. So designed
all their merch
with,
was, yeah.
Yeah. And then we got different ones. So Liam got a red one.
Can grab that, have you?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, it's inside out. It's handy.
Brilliant. Fantastic stuff.
Go on, Yanni, keep talking. Tell them about yours.
Nah,
You haven't got it, have
you
you?
done now. You done now.
So it's like this red on the front there just says PS, Primavera Sound. And then on the back, it says Primavera Sound like that. At the top, it says
Very-
super original, super juicy.
Very
And on the bottom, it
skinty
says
for you.
Barcelona
Yeah, it
2022.
is actually.
Yeah, it's
I got a long sleeve one, which was sort of like off white, was it, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of off white.
slightly off white.
And it had like Primavera Sound on the front here, but it was like a periodic table, so it was sort of all in initials, and on the back was like the proper layout for a periodic table, and it had the whole lineup as well.
Very cool.
I would get it, but I'm not going to take any more time of this podcast up.
Yeah.
By
Because I'm
doing so-
editing this tonight, and I don't really want to.
Lovely. So yeah, it was great, and won't do it again though, because agony.
Well, yeah,
Absolute agony.
that was gonna be my question.
Sorry, do
But-
you have questions for us then?
Not really, no, because when I was asking questions before, I got told off. So, So, but yeah, no, I was going to ask if you would do it again. Does this make? Are you completely ruling out festivals in general? Are you ruling out abroad festivals? Are
I
you ruling
think-
out Primavera?
I think give it about a year, and I think I'll be all right with it again. But like for the right now,
Next festival run.
yeah, for the immediate future, I would say no way in hell, because like the pain. Although we did sort of figure it out on the last day, didn't we? Annoyingly.
I think now, as much as I loved going to Benny, I don't think I could be arsed with a foreign festival anymore because of the getting home afterwards was just an absolute nightmare for me.
Yeah, I definitely
I
agree
just
with that.
can't
It
be
was
arsed with
for
the
us
stress.
too. But then the flip side of that is you're not going back to a tent. You're going
Yeah.
back to a hotel or
Yeah.
an apartment or something, which definitely have, like, we had breakfast included and stuff, which was
That breakfast
Lovely.
was great. The bacon
Really?
there, next level. It wasn't
it
like
was so strange though. But
it was
so
weird,
delicious.
but it was delicious.
It's like not cooked, but cooked. No,
Nice.
weird. I won't. Yeah. But yeah, I think same for me really. It just made me realise I can't stand up for that long.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
literally it. Just foot and leg pain and back pain and neck pain and all the rest.
We're both very weak men, is what we've established.
Yeah, very unfit in very different ways.
Fair enough. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to your little rendezvous. I have zero motivation for this next segment, but alas, we are here. We
Headline.
should have split this into 2 episodes,
There you
but it's
go.
hot off the press.
We're going to start off with an EP, which of course stands for what, Liam?
Extramarital penis licking.
Okay. Who's the band? Also, Liam.
Love JD.
Perfect. That's right. It's the
Thanks.
EP. The EP is called "We Aren't Getting Out, but Tonight We Might." Features a couple of songs we've already covered, thankfully, because it makes it a pretty good EP for that reason. We're going to go through it track by track and tell you our thoughts. Starts off with Same Thing. It's a fucking tune still
Yep.
to this day. Any other comments on that other than that?
No, Big Boy Bop.
Pretty solid, yeah.
Nice. Get Close is next song. Strong chorus on this. The rest of it, I'm a bit mare on still. I think this is another one we covered, but I remember
Yeah.
the chorus. But
I think this one's a bit droney, and it was a bit long, but I thought it was a
Yes.
good enough tune. The chorus definitely the high point.
I quite like the verses on this because I think the choruses are a bit drony.
And the
Sauce.
next one has been one of my absolute favourite songs. It's Feeling Down. You two weren't very complimentary of this when we covered it. However, like I've said, I love this tune.
Yeah, I've changed my mind. Like it quite
Come
a
on.
bit. The guitar riff at the start was fucking lovely. The chorus was actually a nice change in vocal style, which I think I didn't really like at the time. It just really works well. It's a good tune.
I do like it overall, but there are parts where it feels like there's too much going on. There's just a lot of different conflicting melodies and stuff that I think they could have cut back on a bit of it, and it would have sounded just as good. So
Right. Moving on to the song "To Be Honest." This for me seemed like a bit of a weird one. Very early 2010s sort of indie rock. I got sweater weather vibes from this, with like the guitar sounds and chords. Wasn't bad. Probably my least favorite though, because of the reasons I've just mentioned. It seemed a bit odd on the EP list.
Yeah, I agree with you. This was the one I was least interested in. I thought it got better towards the end, but I don't really think it redeemed itself enough in comparison to the first three songs on the EP. It's definitely the weakest one so far, in my opinion. By so far, I mean it's the weakest overall. Spoiler, but you know.
Mirrors.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Last one, Thought It Was Real. It's alright tune. Decent end to the EP out of all the tracks. Definitely the closer. Yeah, that's all I've got on that really.
Yeah, originally I thought this one was a bit of a filler, which always pisses me off when it's chosen to be the closer. But I listened to it again and it grew on me a bit, so I think it might be a pleasant grower. It was all right. Didn't blow me away first time I heard it.
Yeah, this isn't one that I think I'd put on. But if I ever found myself with this EP, it works all right, kind of thing.
Sound. Should also mention that obviously we're covering a lot of songs that have been out for a week
Yeah.
at this point.
Maybe
Could be
the
on
two.
So yeah, the first single that we're going to be covering is by the band Courting. We've covered them quite a bit. The song is off the upcoming album, and the song is called Loaded. I do just want to say that I fucking hate the name of this album so much. It's so stupid. Me and Liam discussed it when we were in a queue for some water, that the name of it is sort of on the line of, oh, it's ironic, or no, just being a dickhead for
annoying.
calling your album this.
Yeah,
And
I
for
still don't
me,
know which side
it.
I'm on, to be honest. Yeah, I kind of appreciate it, and then yeah, I don't know. It's guitar music, by the way, if anyone.
Yeah.
The song, I'm not too complimentary on it either. I don't like this. I think it's an annoying song, especially when the auto tune sort of comes in. The only part I sort of liked a bit was the ending. Sort of feels a bit more chaotic, but in like a nice way. I don't know how to put that across, but yeah, the rest of it I'm not asked about in the slightest.
Yanni, my thoughts were mirrored with you, but they're not anymore. So you can stop celebrating. This has really, 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 really grown on me. At first, I did not care for this one bit. And I actually really like that auto-tune effect because it's so... Oh, I just wasn't expecting it, and it just works well. It actually adds to it rather than it just being there for the sake of it. Yeah, it's a really good tune, this. Really good.
Yeah, I mirror one of you, and that
Fun.
is Callum. Yeah, no, I was the same. At first, I was like, "Well, this is different." I do know that Sean and the guys from Courting are big fans of like, or at least Sean is anyway, of like hyperpop, and like 100 Gex and some of Charlie XCX's stuff. So it kind of it felt like this was going to happen at some point from them. But I think this is a good step towards that while still keeping it guitar music. And I think it makes it does a good job of kind of setting them apart from a lot of the other bands that are out at the moment that they have been compared to, and probably would have always been compared to. They've kind of stepped out of that little circle a little bit, I think, with this, which is brave. And I think it, yeah, at first I thought it was a bit like, bit kind of annoying, but the more I've listened to it, the more I really like it.
Well, in that case, it sounds like I should listen to it again.
Yes, I agree.
Moving on, the Cribs. They've released a song called "In the Room." This is a song from way back when, I believe.
It was an outtake, for
now
the album.
Just being released. The album, Liam, is of course called something along the lines of
it's not
The New Fellas.
The New Fellas.
And my notes on this: it's musically from the time. You can very much tell that. However, the mix does make it feel fresh, and the lyrics, unfortunately, still ring true. So it doesn't feel like an old song
No.
It suits being released now, and I like it. If you can tell from that.
I liked it as well. I thought it sounded a bit different to what I was expecting. I don't know if that is how I should have felt. I don't know, but yeah, it was a good tune. I think the Cribs are always they're a band that I've always liked, but I've never delved. And you've not liked all of the ones from the Sonic, whatever that was called. Yanni, I'm looking at you. I
Sonic
didn't direct it
Blues.
to you. Sonic
Yeah.
Blues. I know you weren't really too keen on all of them, but I've really liked everything they've released for like quite a while now. So I feel like I should just.
I mean,
Just
pretty much
go
all
ahead.
their
Go
stuff is
deep,
pretty
bro.
similar. It's just
It
that some
is.
of it's not so good. It's I don't
Maybe.
think you'd find anything that you're like, I don't like the style of this, because it is all obviously the Cribs.
Yeah.
It's all sort of just good, and then there's
Yeah.
obviously a couple standout ones. But yeah, I don't think I've ever been like, I hate this song or anything like that. But yeah, Liam, what did you think of this? Did you comment?
I really like it. I'm a big fan of this song. I think it's really good.
Nice.
I'm surprised that this didn't make. I don't really remember New Fellas, to be honest. I can't think of any songs off it, but I don't know how this wouldn't have made an album, especially at that time. Like this is prime like FIFA song. This is like
Yeah.
this is a solid song that should have come out when it was written. I
Definitely.
really don't get how it wasn't. But
Yeah.
there we go. But I'm glad it's come out now. I really enjoy it.
As am I.
Lovely.
Here we are.
Next, we are covering the band Dead Letter with the song Line of Cows. Almost misread that. Would have been the first one of the recording. But it wasn't, so, keep guessing. This is something that I can imagine is more enjoyable live. However, as I am listening to it, I am very bored.
I don't know if I agree with that. I wrote down that I liked all the components of it, but I'm not really sure if I really liked it as a whole song. I liked the brass, the guitar sounded good, but I don't know. I very much doubt I'll come back to it ever, to be honest.
I agreed with your first comment there, Carl, around liking all the parts, but not necessarily the song at first. And the more I've listened to it, I really like the kind of the groove of the song. It kind of reminds me of Yard Act in a way. If there were maybe I just added a bit of some more elements and stuff, and I think that would lend very well to Yard Act, and I think it lends well here. Yeah, I really like this song.
Good for you, Liam. The next one is Foals, and their song is 2001. My notes are, this song is about 4 minutes 27 seconds too long. And then a little bit Uptown Funk, ? Some of it. I don't like this. And it's one of those that you can literally just skip through the timeline and it'll sound like you're listening to the exact same thing. Like nothing changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really, really, really bored of Foals at this point.
Yeah.
I think this album is just going for radio play rather than anything remotely interesting, which is a shame.
That's
It
Foals,
was
That's
mate.
false, mate.
sorry.
It's not. No, it's false. Not
Yeah,
sorry
I
either.
know.
It is
Okay,
false,
yeah.
yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Still false.
Okay. I've just completely lost my train of thought now. And I don't care. So Foals, do better.
Yeah.
You're capable of it, so do it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm the same. I kind of thought like I was listening to it like this is good, but wholly boring. Like it's just great. If this was on the radio, it'd be a funky little tune. But I don't know why I'd ever put this on and be like, oh, I'm going to listen to 2001 by Foals, or I'm going to listen to any song that Foals has released this year.
Worryingly, I think a lot of them have said this is their favorite off the album. So not a good sign. And also, they have announced a reissue of Antidotes, and on my phone calendar today is like my cutoff point for cancelling the pre-order, and I kind of need your weigh in on whether or not I should, because I kind of don't really care anymore. But I find
Antidotes is...
yeah, I know, but
Antidotes is a good album.
It's on recycled vinyl as well, so they'll all be unique. And
How much is it?
Don't know. I did it on Rough Trade, and it's sold out on Banquet. Otherwise, I would have just bought it on Banquet to save.
I mean,
myself
can you
some
buy
money.
the original? I don't think you can. I think Antidote's one
No,
of them that's
it's
quite hard to
rare.
get, isn't it?
I might have a shop round, see if it's on like Resident or something, because quite frankly, I don't really want to pay Rough Trade.
but is it out this
£4
Friday?
postage. No, next Friday, I think.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you might even be too late.
No, I'm
Um,
well ahead of the game. I think it's out on the 11th. No, the
I
11th
wouldn't
is
cancel it, to
Saturday.
be honest. Just to throw my opinion in the hat.
If you got the money.
Yeah.
I think it would be funny. Moving on, they're back. Yeah, times
Yeah?
3.
Oh, thought we were
Yeah?
gonna do a thing. I thought we were gonna do a thing then.
Yanni fucked it
Oh,
up.
sorry.
So good they named it
cut
Thrice.
that. Yeah.
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 I did another one. Hey, and Perfume Genius.
The
have
worst
released
name I think I've ever heard.
It's just hard to say.
Perfume Genius.
Perfume Genius. It doesn't
It's
ring off the tongue
horrific.
at all.
Perfume Genius.
Are they American? Is it Perfume Genius?
What would it be in
it's
French,
probably-
Liam?
Whatever genius is. De parfum. Genie de parfum. I don't know.
Anyway, the song's called Spitting Off the Edge of the World. And it's very good.
Very good. Yes, love that.
It's
Love
a great
that.
track.
It's very good.
Love
great
that.
track.
Yeah, it's very emotional. It sounds fresh, but it's very yes, and I'm
Yeah, man.
very
Do
happy
you mean
with that.
wee wee wee?
The wee wee wees. Sorry, how could I be so stupid? Love it, and I'm very, very, very happy they're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leo, I hate you so
Oh.
much. Why have you not done that?
I said it first.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't translate here. I do
Listen back
apologise.
to the tape.
Wait, mate, sorry. Did you say it?
I went, yeah.
Oh,
and
for
then you
God's
said
sake,
yeah.
Liam.
You're such a bellend.
I was on a
Oh.
platter for you then.
Sorry. Well, there was no need. I did it the first time. They fucking tripped me up when I was the originator.
Sorry,
Oh,
it
damn
didn't
it.
come through, so I apologise. This is me. This is me apologising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liam, what did you think of this song?
Same as you. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Great. Paolo Nutini has released another song off his upcoming album. This song is called Shine a Light. My notes are, I prefer this to Lose It. That's the name of the other one that was released, along with Through the Echoes.
Sorry?
However, it doesn't feel like a Paolo Nutini song.
No.
And that was a bit odd to sort of get my head around. Although I really like the chorus in this. Solid
Yeah.
chorus.
I like that there seems to be a bit, I mean, experimentation is the wrong word. A bit of like a phaser pedal maybe on the guitar, which was interesting sonically. I looked at some of the set lists of his gigs that have happened, and this is his closer. And he's not performed anything off these streets. So glad
Oh,
we haven't
wow.
bought any.
Nothing?
Glad we
That
haven't
is
played the tickets.
Wow.
Nothing. I know, mad on it.
That's
But this tune
crazy.
itself is all right. I like it the more I've heard it, but it didn't blow me away. So I put on Through the Echoes, and that blew me away. So win-win.
Great song. Yeah, no, I felt the same way. It didn't. When I first heard it, I was a bit like, "What? Like, what is this album going to be? This is so like the 3 tracks are so different."
Yeah.
And the more I've listened to it, the more I kind of enjoy it. I can't stop thinking about "Sit Down" by James, and also just the era of like, I guess late 80s, early 90s. I'm thinking of like Breakfast Club films and stuff like that, and like the soundtrack for Derry Girls. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of those songs all together all at once. I can't even pinpoint exactly, but I can hear a lot of "Sit Down" in this song, which kind of gets me every time. But yeah, I like it. I wouldn't. It's definitely not Through the Echoes.
Nothing
So
is.
fuck.
Nothing is. Next we have Kasabian, unfortunately. With the song Chemicals. Maybe they would have better luck with Alchemy. Who knows? Because they're not doing very well with releasing songs. This album is going to be shite. This song is not something this band should be making.
No,
For a
it sounds
start.
like Circle Waves.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the,
yeah.
the lyrics to this are wet. Yeah, I just didn't like it, if you couldn't tell.
I think it's probably the best of the three new ones, which is, I would like to stress,
Somehow,
not
yeah.
saying much. And I've watched a couple of their performances on Jules Holland. They do translate better live. Serge, I'm adamant, is having a midlife crisis because he's in like a full blue tracksuit, prancing about on stage like he's 21. The man is nearly 45, I think. Should probably not do that. But if he's having fun, then that's great for him. Alligator sounds good live. It's not a good song though, so swings and roundabouts.
I've got nothing else to add. Yeah, the song is very wet. But somehow
You've really
nostalgic.
got the short end of the stick going third in this review
Yeah,
format, haven't you, Liam?
but I appreciate it sometimes. Because copy you too. My joke. If I have something to say, I sometimes jump in first.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Maybe it'd be a good time to do this now, but because I know you'll probably have more to say. Well, the next one we're covering is by Happy 2000. The name of the song is Funny Little Walk, and I believe this is someone from the sports team chat has done this. Is that right?
It is, yeah. It's Paddy from the sports team chat.
Okay.
Paddy and his band.
Thanks, Liam.
Yes. Good.
Would you like more information? He's in the
Well,
sports
no,
team
but
chat.
we
yeah.
said that maybe this would be one where you go first.
Oh,
and then-
okay. Yeah, okay. So I'll talk about the song itself. For a first kind of like proper single, I suppose they have released some tracks before. I don't know if any of them are on streaming though. But I think this is a very solid song. I think it sounds really good. I think it could sound better. But this has got me looking forward to hearing more from them, recorded better, kind of thing. If that makes sense. But yeah, I think the guitar line, the bass are really good. A very kind of, especially for the beginning of the song when it gets a bit more kind of punky towards the end. The beginning is quite juxtaposed, I think, to be honest. It actually sounds
There
quite
it
like
it's only taken 3 hours.
it sounds quite like Talking Headsy at the beginning, I think, and especially with the vocals, vocal delivery. And then when it gets a bit heavier, I think it's good tune, good tune.
Hey, Liam.
Mirrors, baby.
Mirrors,
we go.
baby.
Hey,
The
Cal.
frantic vocals are tip top. Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
it's
solid.
it's an extremely good first track.
Yes.
So
Fair
big up.
play, I've put.
Happy 2000. I am a happy 1997.
I do
I'm
think it's
happy
a great.
1998.
I do think it's a good band name. I think it's a silly name, and I also think for all due respect to Paddy and the band, it's a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah.
For a first single, like it's very. That sounded like
Accomplished.
I was expecting low from them. I've got
Yes.
one of their records, and I think the songs on there are also pretty solid. But it sounds very accomplished. Yeah.
From accomplished to damn right boring. We have Viagra Boys with Punk Rock Loser. I felt like a loser having to listen to this underwhelming track.
Yeah.
And it has made me wonder if I actually like Viagra Boys or if I like loud noises, because I always enjoy the frantic ones. And this is just, I don't care.
Yeah, this is such a boring song.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree, and it made me feel the same way as well. I thought like I've really kind of reevaluating. I actually didn't really enjoy that last album, and it's definitely just songs for me. There are certain songs that they do really well. I still think Creatures is one of the best songs of that year. Still one of
Whatever
my
the
favourite
first one
songs.
they released from this album cycle was, something about a dinosaur, was it called, or something?
Wasn't I'm No Thief or something like that?
Or maybe it
I
was.
like that one.
Whatever the first one was incredible. This
think
is
that-
shit.
I think that I don't think this is shit. I still like the kind of sound they're
Not
going
shit.
for, and I think it's kind of consistent with the other singles.
It's not
But
shit.
it is really boring. It is
It's
really
that-
boring.
it's not shit. It's shite.
It just kind of doesn't
Wow.
do much.
It's not. I'm only
Well-
jesting.
Thank you, Cal, from one editor to the editors.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you.
I guess
Um,
you could say if I carry on slagging off Viagra Boys, I could be doing a fast track towards a karma climb. And like I said, from one underwhelming song to another, this
Yep.
started off with a really nice nostalgic 80s sound, and I thought, oh, this is a bit of me. And then the singing happened, and there's just zero passion going on here. The chorus was so flat and just, and I almost contemplated taking it off before either of you had to listen to it, but I didn't, and here we are.
Well, one other thing that we should probably mention, Ian, that we did when we were on holiday is we became very annoying esports conversationalists. And we started using all of the terminology that they'd use. So my review of this song is in fact going to be brought to you in that terminology. Okay? Very mid, bro. No cap.
Yeah. You low-key straight bus in there, yeah. Yeah. No cap.
No
It's
cap.
gone. No, yeah, boring. Boring song. That was it.
I thought
Sounded
it
good.
sounded like it could have been a new Kasabian song. Like if Kasabian released this, I thought I would think, yeah, this sounds like something they should be releasing at this point in their careers while they're releasing shit. Anyway, the next band is the band Ugly. The song is called
Ugly.
I'm Happy You're Here. Now, before Cal says anything, or Liam, I'm just going to start off by saying White Continent, Old Street. That, of course, is a reference to Black Country New Road, who I thought this sounded very, very similar to. I was struggling how to review it because I thought the influence was so overwhelming that I didn't know it was just too unoriginal. However, I do actually think this song is rather beautiful, especially the last 2 minutes. It was like one of those moments I was having while listening to the Black Country New Road album, to be honest.
See,
I'll step in before Callum.
Yeah, step in.
Okay,
step
I
in.
thought we could have ended on a positive note.
Tap
but
it in.
sure,
We don't want to do
you
a we don't want to do a sandwich. We want to keep this
Cal,
going.
you just got ratioed, bro.
Yo, no cap.
didn't ask.
I also think this is very beautiful. I actually didn't want to think about Black Country New Road when listening to this song. I completely understand what you're saying, but I think this kind of sounds different enough that I didn't really pick up on it. But yeah, I agree. I think the song's very beautiful. And I really enjoyed the last couple of minutes. And I just like the different instruments that come in throughout the song, and the kind of the guitar line through like the main part of it, the acoustic guitar. That kind of off note that it plays is just good. Just good. You know?
Colin.
Maybe I was scuppered by the fact that I looked at my Spotify and saw that it was 8 minutes long and that it was an acoustic track. Maybe.
I can tell you definitely were.
However, I just don't think there was anything interesting that grabbed me either.
Every single
I just
part of
think-
it, Callum.
Yeah.
It's really
No,
great.
I don't.
To be honest.
It's ugly if you're listening. I do apologise, but I do this sometimes where I prejudge, and I know I shouldn't. But I'm often right because I agree with myself. Otherwise,
So
it'd
did
be
you
a
listen
very
to it in
difficult
full?
life. I did listen to it in full. What I
Like,
will
you just
say,
mentioned that it's an acoustic song and blah blah blah. It's definitely not.
No, it's not.
I know it
well,
starts
what I,
off that way.
what I will say is, I looked at my phone, and I felt like it had been on for about 8 minutes, and it was on for 3 minutes. And then I looked at my phone again after what felt like a very short amount of time, and there was 10 seconds left. So I feel like I must have enjoyed the kind of second half a bit more.
I will agree with you that the first part of it does seem to go on for a lot longer than the rest. Once it sort of gets into it, there's
Yeah.
a lot more progression.
Maybe I would enjoy a radio edit. However, that's probably not the vibe you're going for, so that is probably offensive. However, Ugly, I'm not happy you're here. No, I'm joking. I'm sure it was good. I will give it another go when I'm in the right
I'm
frame of
usually the
mind.
one with the short attention span, so this is a bit weird.
Yeah,
But I was
surprised you
doing it in
liked it.
work and I was with customers, and I don't think I gave it the attention it needed, which I will
You definitely
admit.
didn't if that's the case.
Yeah, please revisit it.
Yeah,
Please.
maybe not.
Please, come on. I'm paying here.
Okay, if you ask.
My hands and knees. Moving on. Inhaler.
Have we not been this one off?
We've been
Oh.
off. Binned it.
Well,
Next
we'll have
one.
to do it now. It was
No,
it
we
was
don't. I don't
everything
remember.
No.
everything we've expected from Inhaler at this point.
Yeah, I'm not even going to tell you
It's
what
an
name of
edit.
it is. It was shit. End of. Moving on. Red Hot Chili Peppers with the song Nerve Flip. I've put, wow, will they ever release a decent track ever again? Question mark.
Yeah, I said it still wasn't great, but ironically probably would have been one of the better ones on the album, which again isn't saying much.
I
Why did
definitely
they
agree with
bring
that.
Frusciante back? Because this is just, I mean,
Mm.
I could have done that on guitar.
Well,
Well, probably not, but
I
they've not utilised him correctly.
actually quite
Definitely
like this song. Okay. I think for Red Hot Chili Peppers, it's at the bottom of the barrel. It's the best of a bad bunch. It's not even a part of that bunch, but you're right, it would have been one of the better songs on that album. When it started, I quite like that groove and that guitar sound kind of got me going. I would say the rest of the song didn't live up to that, but it was a little bit different. Yeah, it was alright.
Okay. Closing this week's Hot Off the Press
Oh.
and music is
2
the song
hours.
by Jack White. If I Die Tomorrow. There's a joke in there somewhere about how Cal's feeling. Anyway, I thought this sounded more like Red Hot Chili Peppers than what Red Hot Chili Peppers have released recently. And I'll just want to preface this by saying I'm thinking Blood Sugar era. It sounds very much like that. I don't know if it's like the chord changes, but like the melodies and stuff, I felt like it sounded like it could have come from that part. It was alright. It wasn't that great. The only part that really stood out to me massively was like when a stuttery guitar or a synth came in, which was very nice, whatever that
Yeah,
sound was.
That was very nice.
Very nice. Apart from that though, yeah. Again, pretty mid, bro. No cap.
I disagree. This is the most interested I've been by a Jack White song in since over and over and over. The solo, which I think was that like staggered guitar synth thing that you mentioned, was cool as fuck. I really like that. The lyrics were pretty good, and overall, I've pretty enjoyed it. It's a nice way to end the week. What I will say though is I listened to this like just before recording, so I feel like I'd reset from having to listen to Ugly. So yeah,
Damn, she ugly. I agree with all your thoughts, Red. I quite enjoyed the song as well. I don't have anything more to add, apart from I was pleasantly surprised. And when I first saw Jack White, I thought,
Excuse me. Sorry.
can't wait for
yeah,
more
that's
stuff
exactly
from
what I
Jack White.
thought.
But
There was
yeah.
also an album announcement with this, but I think that had previously come. But loads of record stores were saying the pre-orders up. But I think that was already a thing because I knew there was another one coming this year.
Give it a rest, Jack. You've just
Take a
released
break,
one.
mate. Take a break.
Can we stop now, please? Because
Yeah, that's exactly what we need to do, mate.
yes,
So yeah, this has been a week of our return, like Easter. We have come back.
Like Easter.
From what feels like death, genuinely.
I
was
was behind
great.
that rock.
If you were at Primavera, I'm sure you would have posted about it. Don't bother telling us; we don't give a shit. I'm joking. You can
We're home
leave
now,
a
we don't
comment
care.
or something. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. Hope it wasn't boring. Apologies if it was. It's Cal's fault if it was.
Yeah.
because
I
I
don't know
wasn't
why,
there.
but it
That's
is.
why.
Yeah,
it'd be
that's
my
it.
fault.
Yeah, it was. Tell us if you want more Falls on Tour. We'll make it happen, but you'll have to fund us. That's the only. That's the flip side to it.
Yeah.
Follow us places. If you're on YouTube right now watching us, just go below to the comment, the description, and go on the link tree. There's plenty of places there you can find things. If you're not there, then go to Instagram or Facebook. Type in @Falls on the Hill Podcast. Twitter @Falls on the Hill Pod. YouTube, if you want to search us on there, it's just Falls on a Hill. Actually, add podcast onto the end of that just to make sure. Go there, like, subscribe, ding all the bells imaginable, even your own bell if you're that lucky.
I'd like
just
to
give
butt in
Ding.
and
Get your butt out, Cal. Go on.
ask if people could rate the podcast on their streaming service as
Mm.
well, because we never asked them to do that, and
Why
that
not,
would
eh?
help us somehow. But yeah, 5 stars if you feel so generous. Dom, I am
Mm.
looking at you because, you know, we rely heavily on you. And if you're still here this long
might
into the
not even still be here.
podcast, no, because I feel like I'm not really here. Mentally, I left a while ago. After we spoke about Taco Bell, that's all I was really asked about.
If you are still here, listening, watching, whatever, just put in the word burrito in the comments. Put in the word
Yep.
burrito, just so we know.
And
Prepare
all
for
the
zero
me a
comments.
burrito. Send me a message. I'll send you my address. Just get me a burrito delivered. Appreciate that.
On that note, guys,
Oh,
And on that note,
bye.
guys.
farewell.